This episode of the Flush Podcast is brought to you by North Dakota Tourism. Start planning your fall hunting adventure in North Dakota at legendarynd.com. And by OnX, the #1 GPS hunting map. OnX, know where you stand. Our bird camp tour continues. I'm joined on this show by my friend Ben Brettingen in Big Sky Country, fresh off of Montana's pheasant opener. We'll break down our do-it-yourself upland bird hunting adventure on public land, and we'll try to do justice to the amount of birds we ran into. Welcome to another episode of the Flush Podcast. I'm Travis Frank. I'm your host. Brandon Morton is our producer. I'm recording another podcast on the prairie, and my guest in my Ice Castle Fish House right now is Ben Brettingen. Ben, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for taking the time. We are approximately 13 hours from home. Yep. And it's funny because we live about a quarter mile from each other.
Yeah.
And we are in Montana celebrating opening day. You've been out here several times this year, right?
Yeah.
In western North Dakota, and then probably, central Montana, all the way up to northeast part of the state.
Yep.
How would you rate your the amount of birds that you've seen this year in this part of bird country?
It's a banner year, no doubt about it. Almost every spot I've been to, whether it's in North Dakota or Montana, has just got a pile of birds. So, I mean, it's a great year if you're wanting to get it back into bird hunting or just love bird hunting, because you can dang near go anywhere, and there's just loads of birds. So.
You mentioned, I talked to you probably 3 weeks before the opener, and I've been planning kind of this bird country tour, sort of. It's an interesting year, so we thought, doing some COVID camps, I guess, if you want to call them that. But really, for me, just hooking up the Ice Castle camper here, Fish House camper, and being able to go where we want to go. And you do exactly the same thing. What are you hauling behind your truck?
It's not an ice castle.
I know, but it's a little bit of homemade.
Yeah. So it's a 5x8 trailer, cargo trailer. So I bought it with intentions to live out of it, essentially, when I'm out bird hunting. So I built a dinette, and it's got 12-volt 110, got a little spot for a heater, and it's great for me and the two dogs, and just rip around and park out in some random field and camp and wake up in the morning and walk right from the trailer and right into birds. So
when's the last time you've seen your wife?
Oh, I think it's been 6 days now, and now after this I'm jumping over to North Dakota, so it'll be probably a full 2 weeks.
Wow. Well, the beauty of what we're doing right now is that we're hunting public land.
Yeah.
Land that anybody can go and hunt. We've been out here. We got out just before opening day, and you could kind of see we're so far from really anybody out here. This country, we don't have any service on our phones. But then right at sunset on Friday night, the roads got a little busy.
Oh, yeah.
You could see license plates from, Florida, Virginia,
Washington, Oregon,
Minnesota,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So we're not the only ones that know that there's good bird hunting to be had out here. The reality, though, is, it's pheasant opener. So we obviously did that. But I think for our group, it was probably just as much excitement, but I would say more so to get into the other species, because Hungarian partridge numbers out here, which I'm madly in love with those birds, and the sharp-tailed grouse, they are, we'll get into numbers here. It's worth hanging on to, but let's go back a few years, Ben. Because you and I actually grew up together. We went to the same school, lived in the same town. You went all the way to the other end of the country, but we both have this passion for the outdoors and have been able to make the outdoors are a career. So what company you work for now?
So I'm with OnX Hunt. So I marketing for them, working with different partners, and especially on like the upland bird side, waterfowl and turkey. So it
You're the bird guy.
yes, so it puts me in some nice places come fall.
Yeah. But prior to this, what was your job prior to this?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Minnesota, and then ended up taking a job with Primos Hunting all the way down in Mississippi. So that sent me 1,000 miles south from, we're boat near the Canada border up in Minnesota, and moved all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. So
What was that experience like?
it was great. I was probably young and I didn't know didn't know better. It's like, oh, this sounds like a fun adventure.
Yeah.
So went down there and got to see a lot of places and do a lot of things that you would never get to do otherwise.
What was your title there?
So when I started, I was executive producer of TV and video. So I produced the Primos Truth About Hunting TV show. And then towards the end, I was also the senior brand manager for Primos, as well as producing the TV show. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So most of the time when we go on location to film, people don't know what they're getting into when we've got a camera there, but you obviously knew very well, and you kind of had a lot of chuckles along the way because you're used to being the guy behind the scenes on a lot of the television stuff. How many years have you filmed television?
So I did 5 years at Primos. I wasn't filming as much, but I still, when the hunting was good, I would definitely get in there.
Yeah.
So I think grand total probably 11 years now. I've been on the TV business. So
You miss it now?
I do a little bit, actually.
Do you?
Some days I definitely don't. I don't miss filming ice fishing shows. I definitely don't miss that.
What's your take on filming bird hunting? Because this might have been your first upland bird hunt, right? To be a part of the television show.
For sure. I give so much credit to Aaron. My gosh. Like, all of a sudden, like a rooster would get up and I have a second just to pull up a gun and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And, after smoke clears and whatnot, I look back at him. He's like, oh, yeah, I got it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did you get it? Like, I had, it was like a millisecond before I shot, and I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a stud.
He is. I don't know exactly how many miles we've put on in the last, because we hunted the Badlands, and then we drove even further west and came out here and met up with you. And the miles, the Badlands is a lot. The contours are pretty intense compared to where we're at now. I mean, this is, describe the habitat in eastern Montana.
Yeah, so it's just, really kind of rolling hills. It's a good mix, a lot of wheat, a few beans up here, but really kind of gradual rolling. And then there'll be some, some little swales and gullies that obviously the farmers won't crop. And it's a perfect storm because all the crops are out now, so the birds, that's where they're going to go. So it just reduces all the area they can be in. And then also, you have that, but then also there's just some miles of a lot of cattle pasture.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then tons of, all the BMAs and state land out here. And so
there's millions of public land acres out here.
Yes,
millions.
Wild.
It's every time I go west, further and further west, I'm amazed at the opportunities and the amount of birds per person.
I know. And it's just, growing up hunting pheasants, and it's like that's what you do.
Yeah.
If you've never done it before, you have to come out west and just experience it. It's a whole new ball game and a huge eye opener. Because until 5-6 years ago, I was a pheasant hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big world out there, and there's a lot of cool things to do.
So you hunted a lot of upland birds down in Louisiana when you were working for Primos. What did you learn about the birds down there?
It was really fun. We were close to probably one of the I think it's over 50% of the wintering population of woodcock live down in one basin in Louisiana. So it was fun meeting people down there and kind of, it's the same bird we hunt in Minnesota, but way different habitat.
Oh, but do they still let your dog stare at them in the eye?
Yeah.
So they don't change their behaviors once they get down there. It's not
No,
like a snow goose that
no,
has been
exactly.
hunted for 8 months and super wise.
That's like the ducks. That's a different story. They've been shot at for thousands of miles, and
Yeah.
it's a different creature. But thankfully, the woodcock, and they just even in the south, like they just don't get that much for all having all those birds there.
Hmm.
They just don't get a whole lot of attention. So it was pretty nice. You kind of had them to yourself, and
What about the quail population?
so the quail, that's kind of a sad story. We were talking about Will Primos earlier, and he was telling me stories growing up how they would leave from their house and just start walking, and they'd run 15, 20 coveys, and just birds everywhere, and great habitat for them. But there's a lot of things kind of stacked against the quail right now, with habitat, with believe it or not, fire ants are a big.
Fire ants?
Hmm.
Really? What do they do?
So eggs, they'll
Really?
get onto the eggs and the chicks. So
Huh.
and until I think it was the 80s or 90s, they came in on a boat into Mobile, Alabama.
Dang. Dang.
So
Well, speaking of Will Primos, he's one of those guys that I've only heard really great things about. What was it like working for him?
oh, he just good as gold. I mean, he was a fantastic mentor, and he genuinely cared about people. That's why his when he built that business, that's why he was so successful because he cared about every single one and wanted you to succeed, outside of work and at work as well. So I can't say enough good things about Will and Jimmy. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Well, you and I grew up. We did a lot of fishing together when we were kids, and it's cool to have you back.
yeah, full
We
circle.
it is. I know, and now you have this passion to just travel and hunt, which is exactly what we're doing right now. How did that start?
It started out of necessity, really. When I was in Mississippi, other than quail and woodcock, the nearest thing was Oklahoma, Kansas, and that's where the birds were. So that's where I wanted to go. And it's really what got me into that was dogs. I got Annie 5 years ago, and it's like, well, I feel I got that fire in me to go hunt again. And without a dog, it's like I wouldn't do it. Definitely wouldn't do it, but kind of lit that fire under me to go, and I had to go travel where there were birds. So,
Right, right. So tell me about your dogs.
so I have two dogs. They're both Drahthaars. Annie was my first one. She's 5 years old, and she is, she grew up. We grew up waterfowl hunting with her in Mississippi, and then kind of transitioned to birds. And really, when I started bird hunting a lot more, I was like, okay, I need another one. So we added old Herb to the pack, and he's 2 and just a goofy dog.
So when you named him Herb, and the name is something that Southerners didn't understand.
Yeah, so I named him after Herb Brooks, and everyone in Minnesota knows Herb Brooks,
Right.
and so the faces I got when I'd say, yeah, I named it after Herb Brooks, the hockey coach, and as soon as I said hockey, you could just see eyes glaze over, just like hockey, whatever.
Well, I was kind of surprised actually when we got here because Annie has a boot on her. I
Hmm.
think it's her right paw right now,
Yep.
back right leg. What happened to her?
So I mean, coincidence or whatnot, but literally the day we moved home in early July to Minnesota, got out of the truck, went to my parents' house, and took her out to the park, and we were just playing fetch and running around, and within an hour and a half of us getting home, she all of a sudden her whole back end just went lame. Couldn't walk, couldn't move, anything. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? So we, took her to the vet, and it's the whole COVID deal. So you had to sit in the truck, and we're just sitting there like, what is going on? So it turns out she had it's called a FCE is actually the technical name.
FCE.
It's an acronym for like something embolism. So essentially it's a spinal stroke. So a piece of cartilage gets lodged into a blood vessel, cuts off blood to a nerve. So, anyways, she couldn't walk at all. Whole back end for probably a month. couldn't walk.
I'm amazed though that um, I mean, you've talked over the last couple of days. We've talked about it, but you've mentioned that she's getting some strength back. I'm
Hmm.
amazed that she can. Is it regenerating, or how is that even possible?
Yeah, I think it's just it's like if you get a stroke, like just like if a person would get a stroke, and seeing a lot of commonalities. So some people recover fully, some people never recover, and there's some gray area in between. So it's the same thing with this. So it's just that nerve, connecting those dots again. But yeah, she so even in the last few weeks, I can really tell that she is getting a little bit better, kind of each day, each week. So had her out here, and she's she can't hunt, definitely can't hunt as hard as she used to, but she loves it, and you can see she's got a big heart because
Oh my gosh! Yesterday, when we were, or the last couple of days, I mean, just watching her, she came with us and she kept up with everybody, even though she's got three legs.
Yep.
And I remember stopping a couple times and just watching her because these dogs are just racing left and right, left and
Yeah.
right. And we've got George Lyle with us, and he's got pointers, and they're just rockets out there
Yeah.
too. And Herb is out there getting after it, and then we got little Minnie. I
Yep.
mean, just like the team of dogs has been awesome. But I stop and I would just always watch Annie because she's trying her damnedest to keep up, and I just
Mhm.
have to think like that's why dogs are just the best, right?
Yep.
I mean, because she's out there not at the full speed. She would definitely want to be running with everyone else, but when things got hot and heavy, she was in the middle of all the birds flushing every time.
Yep.
And it was just like I just kept like fist pumping. Yes, Annie, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Did you guys have some tough decisions that you had to make there?
Yeah, for sure. We after it happened and it's she wasn't getting any better for a month. It's like, all right, well, we kind of put a deadline like early September. It's like if she can't, if she doesn't get any feeling back in her back legs and can't walk, then it's like probably have to put her down, and cause it's just no way for a hunting dog to live. I
Yeah.
mean, she lives to duck hunt, to bird hunt, and to see her never go play fetch or go hunt. It's just no way for
Yeah.
her to live. So it's like, yeah, if that rolls around and she can't walk, it's gonna be the time. But it's so now like you come out here and it's like to see her just zipping around and having a ball. It's like, okay, I don't care if you do anything, but
Right.
you can just tell she's having a ball running around.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can she still swim?
Yeah, she's still a freak in the water.
Really?
Yeah,
She doesn't need that extra leg, huh?
she's never been a fast swimmer,
Okay.
but she is just like the most tenacious animal in the water. Never stops ever. I could send her after a duck. We could go eat lunch, and she won't come back in until she has that duck. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Well, and Herb, he's kind of just a jack of all trades, isn't he? I mean,
yeah,
he'll hunt anything and everything.
yes, definitely. So he is. I like to say Drahthaars are not. They're not great at one thing. Like if I was a duck hunter, I'd have a lab. If all I did was upland hunt, I'd have a pointer. Blood tracking, have a bloodhound or something like that. But so he just does everything. So we could go shoot birds today. Somebody shot a deer tonight. He could go track it, and then we could go duck hunt in the morning. So
Yep.
he just does everything, and but he really grew up. A lot of the stuff I did with him was bird hunting in the last few years. So he's that's kind of his forte. He likes to do that the most.
Why draughts?
Because I hunted everything when I lived in Mississippi. A lot of duck hunting, did a ton of deer hunting. Their season was open like 3.5 months long,
Yeah.
so a ton of deer hunting, and you just
But
never.
you can't really use your dog for deer hunting other than tracking, right?
Yeah, just blood tracking. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in Mississippi you can definitely run dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never ran dogs for deer, but yeah, blood tracking. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Huh. So when did you start? So based on you getting the draughts, you started the draught cast, right?
Yeah.
How long ago did you do that?
So that was it would have been probably 2017, I think.
Gotcha.
18, yeah. So it was really just, the system is super German. So, that's where its roots, that's where it started. And even to this day, like the paperwork to go, to join like a hunt test or it's all in German. So when you're filling it out, it says, name, address, blah, blah, blah. It's all in German. So it's so hard to understand. And there's just not a lot of great resources out. So I was like, well, this is perfect. And I didn't start it from the perspective of I know everything, because I definitely don't. There's a lot of people. I mean, you talk to George and it's just like information. It's just ridiculous. So I wanted to talk to people in the community that knew a lot more and try to help, especially new people coming into the breed, help them test their dogs and just to understand that, because in the German, the VDD is called Verein Deutsch Drahthaar. So much of it is about, testing and just making the breed continuously better. And testing is a big part of that. And so just trying to help people with it, because, it's crazy in the U.S. People are like, what the heck? Because we're doing rabbit tracking, we're doing blood tracking. They have one called Fox in the Box.
What? What's that?
Yeah, so Fox in the Box is it's to simulate, it's pretty much just like this dog will retrieve no matter what. So you put a fox, you build this box. I think it's got to be like, I'll butcher this, but probably 2 feet high. The dog has to jump into the box, grab the fox, jump over it, and retrieve to hand.
The fox to hand?
Yep. Dead fox, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, just all this crazy stuff. And same thing, you have to do fox drag, rabbit drag, duck drag.
Where the hell do you get a fox?
Oh, I was a roadkill expert.
Really?
Yeah.
So have both of yours passed?
Yep.
Really?
So Annie passed. She was 3 years old when I ran her through the VGP, which is the last test. And then I did Herb, actually. It's the second test, the HZP, and then the VGP the same year. So,
but if it's a road-killed fox, doesn't the dog have to?
Yeah. So I mean, I would just find the foxes on the side of the road, or
Gotcha.
Or I'd trained with some coyotes. I'd shoot, but fox. I mean, I didn't really hunt a whole lot of foxes. So if you found a fresh roadkill, it was like.
So they didn't actually have to kill the fox?
No, it was dead, but
okay.
Just for some reason dogs hate the smell of foxes. So essentially, if they will go and get a fox and bring it back to you, it's like, okay, they'll pretty much retrieve anything. Yeah.
Probably not the porcupines we've ran into out here, though.
No, but they will, even after having run-ins with porcupines. We were out here earlier in September, and they still want to kill porcupines.
Really?
Even after they both hit them in Minnesota last year, and I could have pulled quills out of their mouth, and they would have went right back in after that porcupine. I guess they're not that smart. They're just killers.
But then also after the hunt is over, they're kind of just like, hey guys, you want to hang out?
Yeah.
We've got this camp. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we've got 8 dogs here.
Yeah.
Between the 4 of us. Who is your friend that joined us?
Custis Coleman.
Gotcha.
So
he's been a dog guy for most of his life too.
Yeah.
He's on the same system that George Lyle, the Hunt Smith with help me out here.
Ronnie.
Rick and Ronnie.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So
the silent command system, and that's kind of that's what I've been going on. I'm looking at Daisy right now. She's curled up on the bunk over here right now, and George is curled up on the other bunk over there. They're both sleeping. We put on a lot of miles, but they've been very, very productive. It's been, I don't know that we could have ran into better bird numbers. I don't know where we can go aside from, basically from what I'm seeing, there's this part of North Dakota, and then you go west, and obviously we haven't gone to central Montana,
Yeah.
but this region right now from the eastern half of Montana to most of North Dakota, and
Yep.
I haven't been to western South Dakota to find out, but I just know that there's an insane amount of birds here and just the variety.
Yes.
I mean, there were times yesterday when we were flushing so many birds that you didn't shoot because you didn't want to hit hens, and then also while pheasants were flushing, coveys of huns were exploding too. I remember I was watching. I go part. At first, I started yelling huns, but then it's been so windy out here that I had to stop and I had to say partridge because they go, what, hen?
Yeah.
No, hun. You should have shot at that one. But it was just the chaos of that many birds, and then all of a sudden, sharptails come soaring over the top, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, when we got up to the end of that tree row and that covey of huns got up, and then there were pheasants flying out. It's after the fact. I was just standing there. It's like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
like this is why we do this.
It's for our cameramen. A lot of times when it's all said and done, they're tired, they're sore. They've got a giant camera on their shoulder. They're trying to be everywhere at once and capture everything. But Aaron, he's like, we were halfway through the first draw on the opening day. But actually, let's back it up a little bit because it's interesting how this hunt all played out. But first, I just want to give you a reminder from our presenting sponsor, North Dakota Tourism, that birds in North Dakota are on the rise. I can prove it. I have seen it. Their annual counts are in for this year. And pheasants observed per 100 miles are up 38%. That might be an understatement, to be honest. Sharptails are up 54%. There's plenty of places where I'm going to say there's more than that, as well as Hungarian partridge, which are up 45% this year. And with an estimated 4 million breeding ducks, up 18% this year, North Dakota's central region is prime habitat for both hunting waterfowl and upland birds. Plus, North Dakota has more than 700,000 acres of private land open to public walk-in hunting. For the latest plots guide, visit the North Dakota Game and Fish Department or legendarynd.com. Ben, you work with OnX Maps, and really we wouldn't be sitting right here right now if it wasn't for OnX Maps. So before you worked for OnX, you used them. Yep. I've been using them for years as well, and it really, George and I, when we were driving out here to meet you, we were just laughing because we're you're sending pins. I'm, telling them go left, go right. We're coming down these 2-track roads basically to get into this area, and he's laughing because he still has these old school atlases. That I used to call them the Bibles because I used to have them for different states, and I would mark up
coffee stains on all of them.
Exactly, the pages are all curled up, but I would have certain lakes that I would nickname, or only certain buddies knew what they meant, or certain hunting spots where this is the grouse mecca, and stuff like that. But he still had them. But really, this state has so many different public land opportunities, and the cool part, the different layers that the maps show, kind of describe what you look for when you come out here.
Yeah, so it was the first, I moved home, and then I was like, all right, we're going to Montana. Got to go hunt Sharpies, huns. And so all I did is I got on, went on OnX, and I turned on my government layers, so that's all your state land, your BLM, Forest Service, all of that, as well as out in Montana they have block management, and that's essentially just like your plots, private land open to sportsmen, walk-in areas in Minnesota. And there is a ton of block management out here, just ridiculous, and that's what it's great because it opens up a lot of habitat that's whether it's ag or just some different things that you don't always find on state land. But actually, the funny thing out here, we were talking about it. So we're camped on a piece of state of Montana land, which you can do, and there's a draw going through it, and it's wheat surrounding it. It's like we were talking like, when do you ever see,
state land
that's farmed?
Right.
I don't think I've seen it in Minnesota. A lot of cattle pasture they lease out in North Dakota and stuff.
Grazing.
Yeah.
Different states will do that. I know South Dakota, they can graze on some of the public lands. But yeah, when we got here and I looked at you, I was like, it says that this is, yeah. Yeah, George and I kind of looked at each other too, and we said the exact same thing. But yeah, at least where we are anyway, I feel like it's close to
nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, we look around. There's one light to the north of us that we can see. Other than that, there's a couple million stars visible at night.
Yeah.
I should say the first night. After that, you couldn't see anything because we don't know what the Dust Bowl was like.
Oh.
But I feel like the last couple days has been it. There's not. I mean, I don't know when the last time it rained here. Everything is super dry. All the everything on the ground. You step on it, it's just brittle, and the wind has been blowing nonstop between 20 and 45, I would guess, but just nonstop for a couple of days, and it's exhausting.
It is.
Our inside of our camper, our camp. The grill and everything outside, everything that we have right now is completely coated in dust. How would you even describe what it's like to be out there right now?
Well, we took a lot of time getting our camp set up. George really struggled to get the fish house positioned in the correct way.
He just woke up. He's shaking his head right now. No, we tried to play the wind. And it said it was going to shift twice, and it did what it said it was going to do.
So the funny thing is we found out is that position, like when you're ice fishing.
Yeah.
Put the door against the wind, blah, blah, blah. And turns out that's not a good idea to do with dust.
Correct.
Oh, my gosh.
And actually, there's not a good way to park right now because what we've learned with this dust is essentially that if you're on the downwind side of the house, you have like a tornado of dust, basically. And so every time you take a step, it just comes straight up and it circles around. And so we've actually lost a layer of topsoil around the backside of the house. The ground is like basically cement because of all the sand and dirt that's blown off of it. But I guess I understand why there's not as many people up here as there are in different parts of the country for just that specific reason. It's been brutal.
It has. You go outside and it's like, it's like if you would be out by a campfire in the summer and there's mosquitoes just swarming you and you've got your hood on and you're covering your face and they're driving you mad. It's like the same way with the dust. You can't escape it. Like you go outside and you shut your eyes and you walk back inside the fish house and you could just feel how dry and dirty and dusty your eyes, and it's in your teeth. We tried to cook outside and it's in your food and it's everywhere.
It is. I mean, George, bless him, he brought a shower. So we've got an outdoor shower that we've been using and it's really sweet. It's a super cool setup, but the problem is we showered last night and it's like you can't wash it off fast enough. It's just blowing. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's, if there's any downside to this trip, it would be the wind, and that's it. And obviously if we just happen to land on a couple of days, the next 3 weeks, who knows, could be just absolutely wonderful. And one thing I do know for sure is the birds are here.
Yes.
We are sitting on this piece of state land. It's a full section, right? And you said, oh guys, just wait till you get it. There's a lot of birds. So we're pulling in, and as we're driving down this section road, there's just pheasants are just welcoming us in, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is what we're gonna hunt. This is insane, and it's public land again. So out here you can start hunting at sunrise.
30 minutes before.
30 minutes before.
Yeah,
So
I think.
either way, we
Somewhere.
got up in the morning, made coffee, and we thought, well, we're sitting out here, right? In hindsight, we probably should have put our campsite closer to where we planned on hunting
Yeah.
because when we got up to go start our hunt in the morning, there was a local parked right there, and he said, "Nope, I'm gonna be walking in right over here." And we said, "Oh,
Dang.
uh-oh, dang it!" And then there's that feeling of our hearts gonna,
Yeah.
oh,
And we're already late to the game at this point. So we
yeah,
go drive
now.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
And
we went up to the other side. There was a couple vehicles parked at the
yeah.
other section to the south, and we're like, "Oh my goodness!" And we just said, "All right, this is a big chunk of land here, and we're not going to be rude to this guy in any way."
Yeah.
The first thing I did was I asked him if we'd be willing to hunt with us, so we
Yeah.
could all go hunt together. And he said, "I'm just not interested. I appreciate you asking." And I said, "Yep, totally get it. I hope you have a great hunt." And then we started talking, well, we could go hunt for Sharpies, or maybe we just wait a little bit on it because he's got, this draw that we were planning to walk is pretty good sized. And it's one guy, one dog. We thought he might bump quite a few birds, but the limit's 3. I think he could get that
There's a pile of birds.
relatively quickly. So we made breakfast and we heard the shots going off. He probably fired a dozen,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more. And then all of a sudden we see him walking back, and we're like, well, let's try it,
Yeah.
right? And it's strange because you wouldn't want to typically go hunt.
No, right after. I mean, like literally right after.
He left. 20 minutes later, we get, there's 4 of us, so we get out and we start walking the same exact draw. And I don't think we made it 100 yards in and birds. No, we were still getting. We hadn't even walked in yet, and a sharp-tailed grouse just buzzed us, come flying by. We're like, whoa! And
I was getting ready to shoot it. I was up.
You didn't have any
I didn't have any shells in there. That's like we were
Yes.
sitting by the truck.
Yes. So yes, and then a hen got up before I even got into the draw, and then from that moment on, it was what you dream about for an opening day. Pandemonium. Birds were getting up in every direction in front of us. We had some of those flushes where all of a sudden we got, you could see birds were kind of going and tucking in front,
Yep.
soaring left like rooster, hen. There were several that got up, 5-10 feet in front of me where I unfortunately kept looking into the sun.
Yes.
And there was a lot of young birds. So, that's a great thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But they didn't have, they were questionable right away, and I didn't shoot. And then all of a sudden they would turn, I get a better look, and I'd say, oh, yeah, that was a rooster.
Whoops.
But better safe. And
Yeah.
with the numbers exploding out of the grass like they were, I mean, I think one draw is all we walked yesterday.
Yep.
We had shots at, I don't know how many pheasants.
Yeah.
Several coveys of huns. I remember at one point George dropped a hun, and then as the hun's falling, a rooster explodes from the bird falling, and he shoots at the rooster. And I was like, oh, that would have been the best double. But it really was just one of those, like we were all giddy. Giddy, like it was the first time we'd hunted ever, and like that's what you dream about right there.
That we got up to that one patch of kind of scrubby bushes, and I mean there had to have been 40, 30 pheasants get out of that
at one time.
I don't even think
It's like a covey of pheasants exploded out of there. It really was. It was just beautiful.
I don't think anybody ever took a shot at them either. They got up all right perfectly in the sun. They were no more than 30 yards.
Custis got one.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
And it was just like, wow, that's like what it used to look like in Iowa and in South Dakota. I mean, it was like the good old days, but good old days are now. Like, it was great.
Yeah, if you're a bird hunter right now, oh man, what a year! What a year to be a bird hunter.
Yes.
We did that. Then we went over to an area that we knew nobody would be hunting.
Yeah.
It's sharptail habitat. Describe the terrain that we were walking into.
So
you had been here before, and you were once again you were just like, oh my goodness, wait till you guys see this.
Yeah. So that's how it happened. Like this, how the whole trip happened is we were just I think I was texting, we were chatting, and
Yeah.
then you're like, well, I'm going to be out in North Dakota. We should go to Montana then. Because I'm sure I sounded like a little schoolgirl on the phone when I was talking to you. Because
You
I
had a
just
very
got,
high-pitched voice when you
Yeah.
called. You were very excited, and I was making plans to come out here anyway, and I'm like, well, you want to come back? And you go, I'm in. It took you
Yeah.
like not even 2 seconds to answer. I'm sure your wife didn't even know you committed to it.
oh no, I
but-
didn't look at the schedule. Nothing like I can,
Right.
I can fix things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah. Anyways, the Sharpie habitat is well, I went out with Tyler Webster.
Mhm.
He got Daisy from,
Mhm.
and he really showed me a ton about the kind
What
of this
to look for?
yeah, what to look for, and so I was like, okay, so I got on OnX and just started looking around, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this area looks good. There's plums. There's look like some buffalo berry, all that, and it's just like it looks like a lot like Nebraska. So really rolling, a lot of bushes, some nice thick grass, and the birds were there.
Mhm. Yeah. We got into this patch at one point, and there was, I want to say, a minimum of 4 coveys, all basically, because they would explode. I don't know how many got out, 20 out of one side,
Yeah.
6 out of this side, 8 out of this. And the dogs are bringing them back, and we look over the shoulder, and there's more standing. They hopped up,
Yeah.
and they were, eating the berries in the trees. We're like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing? And then it got to the point where it just didn't seem right because everywhere on the horizon,
Yeah.
it was like this golden haze of dirt flying and sharp-tailed grouse soaring through it.
And there were a number of times where it was like we were just walking, and all of a sudden, like, okay, this one's coming right at us, guys, and like just fly right over. Like, okay, shoot
It's
at that one.
like we had decoys out.
Exactly.
Or something.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
talking to him like, oh, that would be the next viral video,
Right.
decoying sharp-tailed grouse, because it was just crazy.
If it sounds like we had a good time, it's because we really did.
Yeah.
The second day of season, the wind direction changed. Once again, we were second to our spot, third to our spot, actually, because we went to a different spot, came back. In a roundabout way, we said, we kind of made some poor decisions on where we ended up going, but we still ended up walking a draw that had been hunted 2 times, potentially.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, at least
And
today.
I think 5 birds,
Yep.
5 pheasants.
And we missed some chip shots.
We did. We don't need to talk about those. We can edit that out. That never happened.
We don't miss ever. Except,
100%.
Yeah.
I am anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. George, I'm not so
no.
sure about him. He's awake again over there. The road trip, at least this one, I will remember it forever. Hunting in the Badlands, hunting out here, doing it on our own.
Yep.
That's the fun of it. I really, just like you, Ben, most of my life, and just like George too. I mean, that's why he and I have been such good friends for so many years, because we just love the adventure. We love going somewhere new, trying something we've not done before, struggling and figuring it out, and having that success on public land.
Yep.
Wild birds in public land. It's right now. It's a good time to be out pursuing them. The numbers are up absolutely in Montana and North Dakota from what we've seen. Highly recommend the next few weeks getting out here.
Yes.
Crops are mostly out in
Especially
this area
out here,
for
yeah.
sure.
All wheat, and it's I don't think, it's all gone. So
Where are you going next?
well, I'm gonna hop over across the border to back into North Dakota actually for another 7 days, I think.
What are you gonna hunt there?
So we're gonna go shoot some ducks and some geese, maybe a few sandhills, and then during the day while everyone else is napping, I'm gonna take the dogs out and we're gonna go hunt huns and sharpies and pheasants. So
Nice.
yeah.
So 2 things that I learned besides all the birds on this trip, besides the dog work, watching everyone's dog and spending time with Daisy out here too, and just taking it all in. But beyond that, two things. Dots Pretzels makes a bar called the Mr. Dot Bar to die for. Unbelievable. I didn't even know it existed. That's from North Dakota. And the other one is it German? It's Kugen.
Oh my gosh.
It's Kugen. That's what it's pronounced. It's spelled Kuchen.
Yeah.
It's like the best donut you've ever had with the filling, but it's also cake.
It's like a cheesecake
kind
texture, but it's like
it stole the show.
Oh my gosh.
It stole the trip. Of all the things we're all going to leave here with, probably Kugen, and that's thanks to Aaron Ochtenberg, the cameraman that was on this trip. He's from this part of North Dakota, or from western North Dakota, and he bought us some Kugen and surprised us, and he goes, "Hey, I got you guys something for after dinner." And the first time it touched my mouth, I was like, I need to know everything about it. I need to bring it home.
Yes.
So those are two things that we will be taking back home.
He said, I think like in Bismarck, he got it.
At a gas station in the frozen section. Right?
So, and so Bismarck is not really even close to on my way home. And I'm sure many gas stations probably have it. But I'm gonna drive down to Bismarck and then over. I'm gonna probably buy every one of them.
Oh gosh, I know. So peach, yes.
Yes. Check.
Rhubarb, yes. Those are the two that he got and highly recommended. We've had amazing meals out here. You prepared sharp tails and pheasants today. What was your recipe today?
It was I can never remember the name. It's like a prairie grouse, peach whiskey cream sauce, something like that. But Marissa Jensen was the one from Pheasants Forever who was talking about it, and she was talking about it on with Bob on the Wing podcast. Okay. And so I was like, okay, I need to get that.
That gets our stamp of approval.
Wow.
Spectacular.
It's a little bit of work, but it is unreal. Like if we were talking about if your significant other or kids, whatever, may not be wild game fans, feed that to them and it'll change their mind.
Yep, absolutely. I love experimenting with different recipes. That's why we said when we come out here, everybody bring one. Don't tell us what it is. So when we all experiment with it, we can take these home with us, because I'm absolutely going to prepare that for my family, just like George Lyle's pheasant wrap, which I actually have done with ducks and geese and all upland birds. They are it's just like all the different flavors come out. Everybody that I've made it for, if they don't like wild game, they're still like, what in the world is this? We did sharp-tailed grouse in the Badlands, where we actually, the buffalo berries, we made a buffalo berry sauce with honey.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we tried it that way, so that was another good recipe.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, these are just parts of the fun of being out here.
Yeah.
We are literally camping out here with the birds, and the coyotes are howling outside right now. The dogs are barking back. Daisy's fast asleep over here. Oh, she just took a big deep breath.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's safe and sound. Last week's show, I told the story of her disappearing in a canyon, but we have a lot more stories to tell for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Ben, thank you for being on this one. I really appreciate it. Once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank North Dakota Tourism for helping us to make this show possible. To bag your limit this fall in North Dakota, visit legendarynd.com. And don't forget to download the OnX map to help plan your hunting adventures and find those pieces of property that are open to the public and full of wild birds. Current episodes of The Flush are airing now on the Outdoor Channel. Catch the action every week, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from now until the end of December. And we'll be back next week. I'm not sure what we're going to be discussing, but I've got a lot of topics that I want to get into once I get back off the road. So we'll be back next week with another episode of the Flush Podcast.